here's our first really good look at Eustace the Dragon. I guess we kind of saw him in a picture and in the poster that came out. And even on the poster I saw it. My first reaction was, there's something weird about that dragon. I don't know what it is. There's just something kind of off about him. Maybe he looks a little too humanoid. Maybe the arms. I guess I always imagine dragons having more T-Rexy kind of arms. Not that small, you know, but that they're arms that weren't really used for grabbing too much. Here it looks like he could like pick people up. One thing I do like in the movie Storybook, apparently there's a fake out where you think that they find Eustace's burnt clothes and they think, oh, he must have gotten killed by the dragon. And we as an audience think that, you know, and then it's not, then the dragon attacks him. We don't know it's Eustace yet, and then we eventually figure out it's Eustace. I really like that fake out. You know, cinematically, I think it's a really, really cool thing. It's just the design here, I guess it's not bad. It looks like a dragon. Just the face looks a little cartoony, I guess. I don't know, it's something that looks kind of odd to me. Yellow is kind of a strange choice too, but I don't know. I'm not sure what else to say about it. Nice front foot. Duffel puds, yay! Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a really cool scene. Just really, really very emotional scene. We've heard nothing but great things about it. We know the line, "There I have another name," is in the movie. The scene looks like it's going to be good. Although there is, in the movie Storybook, I think it was that indicated that, and I guess it was in reports before that too, that Aslan actually gives them the choice. Like, do you want to come to Aslan's country or do you want to go back to your home? That's wrong. In the book, Aslan says, the reason you were brought here is that by knowing me better here, you might know me better there, meaning in your home. If he's giving them the choice to go back, doesn't that kind of negate that? Isn't that like, if the whole reason Aslan brought them was so they could get to know him better in their world, then why would he give them the option to go back? That would defeat the whole purpose of him bringing them in the first place. So now all we know is that the line, "There I have another name," is in the movie. That's really the only concrete line we know. We really don't know anything about anything else. So that's what worries me about this scene, is that they're going to be like, why would he give them a choice? Is that going to tie into an arc maybe they've added somewhere? I don't know. Not sure what to think. But this is like obviously the scene every fan is excited to see. This should be the climax of the whole thing. You know what the climax shouldn't be? This thing right here. Now we understand this is basically the action climax of the movie. It looks like Sea Serpent took a little nip out of the Dawn Treader's prow there. It's kind of funny looking. But we understand this is I guess the Sea Serpent is conjured by the Dark Island, or maybe it just lives at the Dark Island. I don't know. It's been suggested that the witch maybe is the Sea Serpent. I don't think that's the case. AslansCountry.com said maybe it's not clear whether or not the serpent is the witch. Maybe the same thing that conjures the witch also conjures the Sea Serpent. I don't think it's going to be implied that the witch is the Sea Serpent. That sounds just saying it, like, no, it can't be. But then again, I said the same thing about Caspian and Susan. I said the same thing about Edmund and the White Witch. I've been saying, no, that's so ridiculous. They would never do that, and they go and do it. We gotta stop. We gotta ban joking. I'm telling you, they take us seriously. But the emphasis on the story should be that the real climax is reaching the world's end and Reepicheep actually throwing his sword away and saying, I won't need this anymore. Which, if you know anything about Reepicheep, is a pretty big deal. Big part of his arc. So, I don't know, this looks like it could be a pretty neat scene. Maybe a few 3D gimmicks I'm seeing in there. But I just hope they understand the emphasis. Now, here's the big issue coming up. Now, we know from the movie Storybook, this appears to be Dragon Eustace, you know, shooting fire at the Sea Serpent, and maybe this is the first time we actually see him shoot fire. It'd be cool. Oh, he's pinned down, and then that's fire. That could be the big moment. So we know that Dragon Eustace fights the Sea Serpent. We know that's been confirmed for a few weeks now, I think, and that was something where I speculated they might do that several months ago, and I thought that could be a good change. I was saying. And I have it's the video in my blog, it's called Dragon versus Sea Serpent ? I think. But basically I was saying it would give the audience, you know, Eustace has been a prideful, stuck-up, know-it-all, annoying character through this whole story, and now the audience has to root for Eustace. If we care about any of the characters on that ship, we're going to be rooting for Eustace to defeat the Sea Serpent. So I thought, that could be a cool way to kind of transition him in the audience's mind. It would demonstrate his selflessness. This is the issue I'm going to talk about in a second here. It would demonstrate his selflessness, that, you know, the old Eustace would have, you know, run away screaming, run down to the basement and wet himself probably. And that's really the point of the scene in the book too, that Eustace takes out Caspian's second best sword and ruins it and tries to defeat the sea serpent. Now, Eustace doesn't do any good at all helping them beat the sea serpent, but the point is that it shows, and I think the book kind of mentions this, that the old Eustace would never have done that. Pre-dragon Eustace would have run away screaming, and now he's actually putting his life on the line. It demonstrates the change. So I thought, well, yeah, that's kind of the same thing here. It would demonstrate his selflessness if he defeated the sea serpent. So I was kind of like, okay, dragon versus sea serpent, this could be a good change.
So if that's what this is, this is just a visual way of expressing what's in the book, and doing something that I think from a character point of view, or in terms of film, a more efficient way of showing Eustace's changes of character and doing his whole arc, which we've been moving it near the end, then I'm all for this.
What I hadn't quite considered until recently, I hadn't quite, because how they're handling the undragoning has been so unclear, I hadn't really thought about it too much. This could make it look like that Eustace earns back his humanity. That's not cool. Not cool. The whole point in the book is that Eustace, he basically becomes this. Eustace has been this prideful, stuck-up, know-it-all character, thinks he knows everything, thinks he's the most amazing guy in the world, and then he has to do something he's never done anywhere else in the book, maybe in his life, which is lie down and say, I can't do this, you've got to do it. I can't change myself back, you've got to do it, Aslan. We know they have that dialogue later in the movie where he says, I couldn't do it myself, so I guess that's something. But you want it to come through visually. You want to feel like it. You want to feel like, oh, now he's defeated the sea serpent, and now he's earned the right to be a human again. Throws everything, that's the whole point of the Eustace character, and totally throws it in the garbage. So what it should be, the reason, why does Eustace become a dragon? Eustace becomes a dragon because now he looks like, on the outside, what he really is on the inside. His outward appearance reflects his inside appearance now. It reflects his greed, his pridefulness, his arrogance. Now he looks like a dragon. And when he's humbled, Aslan then changes him back to be what he looks like now, which is he can be a boy again now, to look more like what he is on the inside, because he's gone through this transformation. Now, the movie storybook indicates that the movie storybook, again, is a super summarized, condensed version of the story, got to be careful, but indicates that Aslan appears just after they defeat the sea serpent and instantly changes Eustace back in like a flash of light. That would be stupid. The whole idea of it should be painful, but again, all this dialogue, it should be painful for Eustace. It should be, I couldn't do it myself. I'm weak and helpless. You've got to do it for me, Aslan. Something Eustace has never done before. That's his whole character arc. And so if Aslan kind of snaps his fingers and changes it, that would defeat the whole point. They do have the albatross in there. That's cool. But so that would defeat the whole point of it. This has become maybe my biggest issue is how is this going to be handled? Yeah, I know Michael Flaherty said in an interview, he was like, we understand the idea of grace and Eustace having to lie down and be helpless and everything, why that's so important that he can't earn it back. But how is that not going to come across? Now, you want that to come across in the story, not just, we're going to have some dialogue later where Eustace clears it up for us and says, I couldn't do it myself no matter how hard I tried, and it was a good kind of pain. Nothing wrong with having that dialogue in there, but it should really come through in the story, too. It shouldn't just be, hey, audience, let me pull you aside and say, here, I didn't do it myself, just so you know. That should just come through visually. So this has become one of my biggest issues because of that. Now this shot's been in the other two trailers as well. I didn't really talk about it much, but one thing I've noticed in both shots that now has an added significance potentially is this kind of smoke in the background here, kind of a storm cloud or something like that. And now what we know about the Dark Island being the unfathomable fate and everything, could this is the Dark Island being destroyed or some kind of mist, or is this related to the unfathomable fate somehow? I don't know, I'm just pointing that out. Again, using the same probe.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
Why is there snow?
The Voyage
I know there's that scene and there's snow in that one scene. They're going to kind of remind you of one.
Directed by Michael Apted.
Remind you of the movie that was so
digital 3D.
successful. So my overall thoughts on this trailer, this has put the fear on me that maybe they've ruined this story. Maybe they don't understand the point of it. Prince Caspian made a lot of changes to the story. It's really, the plot is fundamentally different. But I liked Prince Caspian and was okay with most of the changes because I thought the changes did make it more cinematic. To say, let's take what we love about the book and just make the movie version of it. That's what I want out of an adaptation. The themes that I really respond to in the Prince Caspian book were pretty much the same themes I responded to in the movie as well. So overall, I liked Prince Caspian. A lot of changes, most of them good changes. A lot of people are going to post comments, gosh, you got to make changes to a book because books and movies are different mediums. You know, you have to make changes. Of course you do. That doesn't entail that all changes are good. Just because some changes are necessary, just because I agree with the idea that, oh, changes are necessary to adapt a book to film, that doesn't mean all changes are necessary. It doesn't mean all changes are good. The changes I'm seeing in Dawn Treader here, I don't think they're necessary or good. The impression I'm getting, got to see the final film before really making a total judgment so you can really see the big picture of what they've done. But this is messing with the core of what Dawn Treader is. Now, let's think about what is the plot of Dawn Treader driven by, the book. It's driven by, number one, the awe and sense of adventure of sailing into the unknown. That we could find anything. In Magical World, we're going into the unknown. We might find anything at all, or maybe nothing. Number two, the mystery of what happened to the seven lords. And that makes the unknown part even eerier. Like, well, they never came back. What are we going to find? A little bit scary, a little eerie in a fun way. Number three, it's the sense of anticipation and longing for Aslan's country. This is what's really driving the book. The book is ultimately, what's the book about? The book is about a crew that sets out of a sense of personal responsibility. That Mirage committed these wrongs. One of them was sending these lords away so that he could be king, which they never established in the Prince Caspian movie. And now Caspian has to go and right that wrong because, not because he has to, because he promised that to Aslan because he knew it was his responsibility. That's the story of the book. The movie appears to be about a crew trying to save the world, setting out to recover these seven swords to unleash their power and save the world from this unfathomable green mist. If Walden Media wants to make a story about a crew trying to recover these swords and defeat a green mist, okay, but don't call it the Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
From C.S. Lewis's epic masterpiece.
This is not me complaining that Tumnus's tale wasn't really long like it was in the book. You know, this is it. Why even make a Dawn Treader movie? If you're going to change this, go make your own movie about this crew on a ship and that you can have all these elements of the green mist and everything. If you're going to miss the whole point of it, why even make it in the first place? So this is definitely a better trailer, but it's really, really concerned about what they've done with the story, that maybe they just don't get it. With Prince Caspian, I thought, there's a few things I didn't get, but with Prince Caspian, I was like, well, this movie is being made by people who kind of get what the story is about, and therefore when they make changes, they keep that in mind. It's like, well, let's make sure we don't lose what makes it good in the first place, what makes it what it is. So this one, I'm like, they don't seem to have a clue what Dawn Treader is about. Now, if I'd seen this trailer having not read the book, I'd probably just roll my eyes and forget about it and say, it looks forgettable, it looks like Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean, it looks like everything I've seen before. But having read the book, I can't forget about it because it's like, that's wrong. It's very disheartening, this trailer. Hopefully, again, trailers can be misleading. Hopefully, this is not what the movie is really going to be. Hopefully, the emphasis is wrong in here and that actually the heart of the story, the longing for one's true home and that ultimately the joy of finding it will be at the center of the Voyage of the Dawn Treader movie. Right now, there's a poll in the NarniaWeb.com forum, basically rate your expectations for the film on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. I'm at a 3 right now. I'm not expecting to hate this movie because Will Poulter is going to be great, the design looks awesome, first half hour looks like it's going to be great. And then it goes off into crazy land, so I'm not expecting to hate this movie. I'm expecting to dislike it at this point. Gosh, I know Fox is holding a lot back. I hope they're holding so much back that there's a lot of their good stuff we still haven't seen. So hopefully more footage or something will come out. I'll be more encouraged by that. But I'm still going to go to the midnight showing with some apprehension. Like, this doesn't sound like Voyage of the Dawn Treader to me. It sounds like something else. So just under 2 months to go until this comes out. Pretty crazy. Right now, just left with, I'm not saying they butchered it, but this trailer has put the fear of that on me. But, again, this is just a trailer. We'll see how the movie turns out.